What is up, YouTube? Hope you guys having a wonderful day. As I'm, growing up, slowly becoming a man, I've realized that I had to give up my hobbies in order to move to the next level, right? And what I mean by hobbies is that, like, I can't be investing my time, money, and energy into things that really are not going to go nowhere except, in my room. It don't really add any value to my life, especially in my situation right now. I think the most valuable thing a man can have is literally having kids and starting a family with a woman that he loves to be around. And if you choose your hobbies over, trying to find a woman and settling down with, I kind of question the way how you think as an individual because it kind of makes me think that you're still stuck in a phase that you don't want to leave from because it's too comfortable to leave. And one of the things that made me leave that comfort zone was the fact that I didn't want to be 40 years old and marry a woman that I did not find physically attractive at all, and it was all out of pure desperation and loneliness, right? I knew somebody very close. I'm not gonna throw him under the bus, but I knew him very close in my circle that I kind of had to like reevaluate my whole life. And it made me realize that, yeah, I don't want to be in that situation. I would rather like literally do the hard stuff first than try to play catch up at the ending. Because, like right now I'm in my mid 20s. I'm basically starting over. And but to some people it's like you're still young. Like you still got time to do things. Like what other things do you else have to do? I think once you've made a certain amount of money, once you've went through, a certain amount of things in life, and once you traveled outside the country, it's kind of like what else is there to do besides make more money and start your life as a man? Like, are you just gonna keep going and staying in your room all day and working on your hobbies as if like one day your hobbies are gonna like blow up? I mean, it's a possibility. But if you're like 25 and up, right? 25, 30 years old, you're mid 20s, I think you should really evaluate like what are you doing with yourself? Because like the most valuable thing you can have as a man is to have kids and have a woman by your side that you truly and love to be around. Not have multiple women who are just there because they value your attention and they just boost your ego all day. That's something that I had to learn. I wouldn't say I had to learn the hard way, but that's something that I learned as I grew up, right? I got out of that phase of, trying to chase women, thinking that, I was going to get somewhere. But in reality, I got nowhere except realizing what most people are realizing now when it comes to dating. And that's that most women, especially young women here in America, is that they do not want you. They just want your attention and move on with their lives. And they'll probably, maybe it may not think about you, but for the most part, it's not even worth the trouble to invest in unless you really like them physically and you want to like pursue. But I usually just like give it a thought and then just move on with my life. But overall, I feel like if a man chooses his hobbies, it's like the whole feminism wave where women give more respect to their boss and they value being an independent woman, um, instead of getting into a relationship with a man or wanting to ask help from a man just so that she can tell the world that she's an independent woman. She don't need nobody. Like I feel like it's the same concept, but just two different genders, right? So and it only benefits one person. and my bad, not one person. It benefits only one entity, and that's consumerism. When you're a single individual, you're always trying to buy things to consume this like emptiness you have inside your heart, right? And that emptiness comes from the fact that you yourself don't have any value. And the only way you can have value as an individual is to go live life, right? Like I said, there's so many things you can do in life where to the point where you're like, man, I think it's time to start a family. I think it's time to, like find a woman, settle down with, have kids. Like just think about it for a moment. If you're like 25, 30 years old as a man, I don't know about women. I'm just speaking for men, right? Because you can't be so fixated on your hobbies 24/7. You got to take a break and just think about like where you headed in life. And it won't cost you that much. Maybe like 5, 10 minutes, maybe an hour. But for the most part, just ask yourself that. And maybe hopefully you'll realize that, you're going nowhere but, chasing your own tail. So hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later.